Game week 4 of the Premier League and La Liga is over. Stay with me as we delve into the results, reactions, and analysis of the matches in game week 4. These are the results of game week 4 of the Premier League. It started with Arsenal winning at home to Nottingham Forest by 3-0. Newcastle beat Wolves by 1-0. Fulham also won at home to Leeds United. Everton drew at home to Aston Villa 0-0. Crystal Palace also drew at home to Sunderland 0-0. Bournemouth won by 2-1 at home against Brighton. West Ham lost at home to their London rivals, Tottenham, by 3-0. Brentford also held Chelsea to a 2-2 draw at home. Burnley, very stubborn Burnley, also lost at home to Liverpool by the slightest of margins, by 1-0. A late Mo Salah penalty undid the Burnley side. And then the biggest game of the weekend, Manchester City beating Manchester United by 3-0 in the Manchester derby. Now, let's start with the big one, the Manchester derby. Yes, Manchester City beat Manchester United by 3-0. Yes, personally, as a United fan, I was very, very disappointed with my team in this game because City wasn't so superior to Manchester United in this game. Yes, City wasn't a superior side because Manchester United, in terms of possession and most of the aspects of the game, Manchester United came top. Manchester United came top even in terms of possession against a Manchester City who is possession based, playing at home. So the big question is, why should it always be like this? You play the big teams, you play very well and end up losing. Yes, so these are my observations during the game. Yes, as I said, Manchester City wasn't superior to Manchester United. These are the stats at the end of the game. When it comes to ball possession, Manchester United have 55%, as Manchester City got 45%. Total shots, City had 13, Manchester United had 12. Not so much difference. Shots on target, City had 6, United had 2. Not so much difference. Big chances, City got 4, and then Manchester United had 2. Corner kicks, Manchester United had 4, and then City had 2. When it goes to the overall passes, City, who are a possession-based club, as we know, had 83% to Manchester United's 84%. Yes, so the question again, why do you play so well against these teams and then end up losing? That is a very, very big question for Ruben Amorim and his players. Yes, so there are certain observations I also had in this game. Yes, first of all, the first observation I had was Manuel Ugarte starting ahead of Casemiro. This, I just don't understand this. Throughout the season, Casemiro has been the one playing alongside Bruno Fernandes in midfield. Why against a team like City, you bring in Casemiro, you bring in Ugarte, a player who even wasn't starting for Uruguay during the international break? So why bring in today? Even Kobe Menu, who came in later, did far better than Ugarte throughout the whole minutes that he had. Yeah, so I think Ruben Amorim had it very wrong with this selection, to be honest, because Casemiro has been very good. Even if he hasn't been the best, he has been better than most of our midfielders this season. So why change him and then bring in Ugarte? I even feel playing Main would have been better as to Ugarte playing. Yeah, so I think Ruben Amorim had it very wrong with that decision. Yes, and then the second thing I observed, poor decision making, especially in the final third. That was the difference. That was one of the differences between the two sides. City wasn't so superior, but then efficiency, being clinical, and then good decision making in the final third was what made City win this game. We could all see Erling Haaland had 2 clear chances. I think he had 3. He scored 2 and missed 1. That means they are being very clinical. How many chances did they create? Not so much. But then they scored 3 out of the chances they created. What of Manchester United? Yes, Manchester United also had chances. Mbeumo had a very good shot, which was saved by Donnarumma. But then that aside, what else? United hardly created open, clear-cut chances. So what's the problem? You have a very tall striker, a very physical striker in the 18-yard box, but then you don't cross balls to him. You find it hard to break down defenses. Cross the ball to your striker, it has become a problem. So I think with Manchester United, there's a lot to be done, or there's a lot to be said and done about this team. Amorim, after the game, he says he's not changing his philosophy. It's either they change him, the man, but for the philosophy, it stays. Yes, so if Ineos really wants this man to stay in the job, then yes, obviously, they have to get the kind of people he wants. Someone like Arteta, this current Arsenal team contains every single player in this Arsenal team is an Arteta player. He has spent over 2 billion on signings. Yes, so I don't think you can compare Amorim's situation to someone like Arteta, because Arteta had time, he had funds, he had money. Yes, so going back into this game, I think poor decision making, not being clinical, and not being productive in the final third was the biggest problem to Manchester United in today's defeat. Arsenal beat Nottingham Forest by 3-0 at home. I was a little surprised because I didn't expect this kind of scoreline. Yes, ask me why. I would say I know Forest to be a very good side, both off and on the ball. That's how they've played for a very long time now. They've been very decent if it comes to dictating games. They are very decent on the ball, and it's very hard to knock them off. But then in this game, I think Arsenal were too strong for Nottingham Forest, to be honest. But then from the beginning, nothing showed that Arsenal were going to score. Nothing showed that Arsenal were going to score till they had the first goal. And obviously, that goal came from one of Arsenal's strongest weapons this season, corner kicks. Although they didn't score directly from the corner kick, they hit the corner kick, the defender heads it out, and then it met Zubimendi perfectly. It met Zubimendi perfectly. What a goal that was. And then it was said that that was his first goal from outside the box in his entire career. He's not the best of goal scorers. He doesn't score enough. But then this one was worth it. Very nice goal for your first goal for your new club. Yes, so after Arsenal scored in this first goal, it made Nottingham Forest lose their guards down. They lost their guard. That was when Arsenal started dictating the game. People were coming in the game. Players who weren't so into the game now started coming in. Honorable mention, Madueke. On that day, Madueke was so good. Madueke had his marker on toast throughout the game. If not for Zubimendi's 2 goals, I would have given Madueke the man of the match on that day. Yes, and then Gyökeres also got his 3rd goal of the season after Eze set him up to score. And then this brought a lot of excitement to Arsenal and their fans, because their new signings combined to give them their very deserved goal. Now, Chelsea were held to a 2-2 draw against Brentford. Yes, and these are my observations. First of all, the thing where I observed the Maresca's selection. Yes, coming into this game, yes, we know you have a Champions League game ahead, a very tough one as well. But then, these points are so important. They are very necessary, especially playing away to Brentford. We know how difficult it can sometimes be playing against this Brentford side. Even with them losing important players from their squad, the likes of Norgard, Wissa, and then Mbeumo, but they are still a strong side. They can threaten at any time, any day. But then going into this game, Maresca decided to make some changes to his starting lineup. And we all agree that it's because of the Champions League game. But then there were issues popping up. People had other ideas. People had their views. And I think I'm in support of that. You should have just started with your best 11. Just start with your best 11. Get the goals. And then you bring them out. As simple as that. Because we know Brentford is a very stubborn side. So you shouldn't even do anything for them to even have a feel or have a feeling that they have a chance against you. That was where the problem started. And tactically, we could see what Brentford wanted to do from the start of the game to the end. That's typically how they play. They soak the pressure and then hit you with long balls. From last season or even the seasons before, it was the same with the likes of Mbeumo and Wissa. They soak the pressure. They have people who are pacey up front, and then they just kick the ball to them, and then they hit you on the counter. It was the same situation with this Brentford and Chelsea game yesterday. They had Shade up front, who they were feeding with the long balls, and then it was so effective. That was what led to the first goal. We all saw what happened. They soaked the pressure, won the ball in midfield, and then hit the ball long for him to run after it, and then finished the goal. Yeah, so I think Chelsea and Maresca just made Brentford feel like they had a chance in that game, especially going one up. Most of these smaller teams, if you give them the chance to go one up, oh yes, they feel like, yes, oh come on, we've gotten a goal. So what means we can't stay in this game? Yes, so I think Maresca had it wrong with the selection this time against Brentford. And then Gittins, another observation I made. Gittins, I don't think that guy is ready for the Premier League. Because the kind of game he played from Dortmund, he takes on players, he runs at you, he dribbles, he creates, he assists. But then, since he arrived in the Premier League, it seems he's afraid to take on players. And I think if Maresca can help him work on this, it's going to help a lot. So I don't know if it's fear that has come into Gittins that, oh, he's now in the Premier League, so he's afraid to take on players. I think that's a very bad thing. Because we have Estivao, who also came in this season. But then he's doing that job super well. He's doing it very well. He takes the ball, drives at players, assists, he creates. That's what we want from a winger, a modern day winger. Yes, so that leads out to Garnacho's cameo. Let's talk about Garnacho's cameo. That was what we were expecting from Gittins. When Garnacho came in, he took the ball. He was driving at defenders. So Chelsea's first goal came through, I think Chelsea's second goal came through Garnacho's drive. He took the ball from the wings, ran at the defender, put the ball in the 18-yard box. That's the most important thing. Put the ball in the 18-yard box for strikers or attackers to feed on. Just in case it doesn't work, they are going to have a rebound, just like Caicedo had. So for Garnacho, I think he had a super game yesterday. But then, at the end of the game, Chelsea let their gas down, and then Brentford equalized. And there were a lot of discussions going on that Garnacho switched off a little. That was what made Brentford equalize that goal. But to be honest, I don't blame Garnacho for this. In certain situations, you can say yes, he should have been with his marker. But then, with the long throw, the players who allowed the player to flick the ball into the 18-yard box should be questioned more than Garnacho. Yeah, so the people who are saying Garnacho should be at fault, I know are agenda boys. Mostly the United fans who just want to raise issues and then be like the guy didn't do well on his debut. But then to me, he did very well as compared to what Gittins has done for the past 3 or 4 games. Yes, so I think with this game, I would blame Maresca for Chelsea's loss. Yes, because of the kind of selection he brought into this game. The setup was okay, but then the personnel was the problem in this game. Yes, so Brentford held Chelsea to a 2-2 draw at home. Burnley 0, Liverpool 1. Yes, in this game, people were very surprised at the scoreline because most people had at the back of their minds that Liverpool were just going to mine goals. But then, this wasn't the situation. Liverpool were held till the 90th minute, 90 plus 4 minutes, before they scored the first goal of that game. And then it ended by 1-0 through a Mo Salah penalty. there's this one thing I've observed about this Burnley side. Their resilience. They defend so well, especially at home. Yes, so Burnley are so good at defending, but then their resilience easily gets broken getting to the end of the game. It's the same thing that happened against United at Old Trafford, playing at 2-2, and then at the end of the game they considered a penalty, and then they lost the game at the death. Yes, it was the same thing after they considered they had a red card given to Ogwechuku, which I think caused them so much. Even with that, at the time they weren't having that red card, they were still defending very well. But then they went a man down, and then they considered that last minute penalty. So I think if Burnley are going to continue playing this way, they are going to amass a certain number of points. But then they should watch how they concede late goals. Yes, so Mr. Inevitable Mo Salah stepped up and then converted the penalty, giving Liverpool all 3 points. These are the La Liga results after game week 4. Yes, it started with Sevilla drawing at home to Elche 2-2. Getafe beat newcomers Real Oviedo by 2-0. Real Madrid won away to Real Sociedad by 2-1. Atletico Bilbao lost at home to Alaves by 1-0. Atletico Madrid also won at home to Villarreal by 2-0. Celta Vigo drew 1-1 at home to Girona. Osasuna beat Rayo Vallecano by 2-0. Levante also held Sevilla at home 2-2, and then Barcelona beat Valencia by 6-0. Real Sociedad won, Real Madrid 2. Yes, this was a much needed win for Real Madrid, giving them their 4th straight win of the season, keeping them on top of the La Liga table. Yes, it started with Real Madrid scoring their first goal, which was disallowed by VAR, deeming it to be an offside by Kylian Mbappe. But then later on, Mbappe came back and then scored a wonderful goal after running from behind to lead a defender who was having a head start against him to slot the ball past his goalkeeper. Yes, but then there was an issue in this game. Dean Huijsen was given a red card. But then, personally, to me, that wasn't a red card because he wasn't the last man in the back line. Yes, I think La Liga should take certain things serious from this time because it's been a while now. There have been a lot of controversies going on in La Liga. These are some of the reasons why people say Premier League is unbeatable. It stands stop because certain things won't be happening. There were scenarios before the international break where Lamine Yamal won a penalty against Rayo Vallecano, which wasn't a red card to me, and we were told VAR wasn't working at that time. How can a serious institution playing a game, a professional game, and tell us VAR is not working at that time? What may be the cause? They are making the league seem like a child's play. People are not taking the league seriously. And then with this Dean Huijsen red card, I don't know why VAR didn't check this red card. Red card. I see it to be an error because he wasn't the last man in the line of defense. Yes, so I think La Liga, some of these things, they should take it serious because it's really affecting the league. Yes, I think from there, after the red card, Barcelona and Real Madrid came again and they scored even with the red card through their star boy Arda Güler. Yeah, and then with this boy, I'm so surprised at why Ancelotti wasn't giving this boy playtime last season. Because this boy is so good. Anytime he comes on, he delivers. So I didn't know what Ancelotti wanted this boy to do before he gives him the needed playtime. But then, yeah, this season under Alonso, Arda Güler is getting his chances and he's taking them. He's playing regularly and he's being productive. Yeah, so I think this season is going to be a very good season for Arda Güler. Yes, Real Sociedad also came into the game when they got a penalty when the ball hit Carvajal's hand, leading to the penalty. But then I think Madrid did really well throughout the game. Even under a red card, they still did well to control the game and still created chances. Yes, this is why some of these teams are called big teams. Yes, they've got big players. Even under certain circumstances, they still find a way to win games. Yes, so I think in general, Madrid really did well to come out of that game with a win, especially playing away to Sociedad. Yeah, so I think that was a very good win for Madrid. Barcelona 6, Valencia 0. Yes, Barcelona had a perfect evening, even in the absence of their star boy Lamine Yamal. It was a perfect evening for Fermin Lopez, Rafinha, and the Lewandowski. All these players scoring braces. So yes, this night was a night of braces for these Barcelona players. Yes, I think this match there isn't nothing to be talked about so much, because we knew what was going to happen. But then the only thing was people thinking Lamine Yamal won't be available, could go against Barcelona. But then Barcelona showed their quality. They showed why they are one of the biggest clubs in the world. Yes, and of course, I'm very happy for our boy Rashford getting an assist today, because there's been a lot of pressure on him since joining Barcelona. Even before joining Barcelona, he has always been in the news. But then yes, today I think his performance today was a little better than previously, and then getting the assist for Barcelona in this game today. So I think Barcelona had a very good win today, and then I think they are going to look forward to getting much better than this, especially when their star boy Lamine Yamal gets back.